Hey squad, happy weekend. Just wanted to record a short video because Chloe, who's our tasting and roasting technician, had reached out to me recently and said, hey, a lot of people are asking about potato in Burundi coffee. And that's a really interesting topic because potatoes and coffee don't generally go together when you think about what coffee is. But potato is actually a coffee defect. It's a tasting defect that shows up in coffees from East Africa. Burundi in particular, Rwanda and Congo also experience this sometimes. And it's a defect that's caused, well, they're not entirely sure, but there's really two things that might cause it. One is a beetle that actually bores into the coffee bean itself, the pit of the coffee cherry. The more likely cause is actually a bacteria that's present in that area of the world that tends to give off an aroma that smells a lot like raw potatoes, and if that bacteria interacts with the coffee during its growth and fermentation, then it might be imparting those potato type flavors that end up showing up in the coffee. So what happens sometimes with these coffees from Africa, Burundi in this case, is that you might experience sometimes when grinding coffee or when brewing it, this very, very heavy aroma of raw potatoes. And you really, once you've experienced it, it's hard to miss because it can fill up a room really quickly. It's not in any way dangerous to people to drink it, like it's not harmful at all, it just tastes like raw potatoes. And the questions have come up a lot within our retail group, I think for a couple reasons. One is that people generally know that this ethereal potato thing exists, so they want to know if that's what they're experiencing in their coffee, and sometimes it will be, like potato does show up sometimes in everybody's Burundi coffee. It doesn't matter which roaster has it and where they get it from, the potato defect is going to show up from time to time in Burundi coffee. And I think the other reason that people are asking about it is that we're at a point in time right now with Burundi coffee that it's nearing the end of its green life cycle, meaning that right now in Burundi, harvest is wrapping up and we're about to get samples for fresh crop Burundi. So the green coffee we have from Burundi right now is about a year old. And at that time, coffee starts to take on nutty flavors, flavors that are earthy in nature. So we're seeing in our Burundi right now that it's getting some of those sort of aged flavor characteristics, and it's about time to move it out of our line, which we'll be doing just in 2 weeks actually. We'll be moving Burundi out of our light and medium roast profiles until we get the fresh stuff in. So I think our baristas are tasting that, and they know that there's sometimes potato defect that shows up in Burundi. So they're wondering, am I tasting potato or what? And I think maybe sometimes they're tasting potato defect, but maybe it's just that the coffee's getting a little bit tired and it's about time for us to bring in some fresh coffee to Cream City and Green Bike, which I'm really, really stoked about. A question might be, well, why do we buy Burundi coffee then if sometimes it has these potato defects in it? And I would just say that it's really about the impact that we can have and the quality in general of the coffee. So first, let's talk about quality. Is Burundi coffee, particularly the stuff we're getting from the Long Miles Coffee Project, is just fantastic. It's super sweet, clean and juicy, and occasionally we get a potato bean in there. That means we have to toss a shot, or our drip batch might taste a little bit like raw potatoes, but generally the batches are so sweet, clean, and juicy that to us it outweighs the risk of potential potato bean showing up periodically. The other reason we really want to buy Burundi coffee is that the economic impact this has, buying Burundi coffee at specialty prices, it's really far and away more impactful than us buying coffee for the same price out of Costa Rica, for instance. Paying specialty prices in Burundi, where the average farmer wages are so small, like we can actually bring a lot more economic stability through our buying in Burundi than we can almost anywhere else in the world. So the Long Miles Coffee Project really went into the country to help farmers get their coffee out at specialty prices because they knew the economic situation in Burundi is so rough that paying more for green coffee with the quality that they have can produce a lot of economic transformation in that country. So that's why we really like buying Burundi coffee and why we buy a lot of it. We plan to continue to do so. We have a 5-year deal with Long Miles right now to help continue to bring economic stability to the areas that they work in. And again, we love the coffee in general. Just get potato in it periodically. If you guys have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I want to record these videos on a regular basis and start talking about our green coffee sourcing, why we buy from certain origins, what's the story behind the name of the coffee that we came up with, or really anything else you'd like to hear about related to Stone Creek Coffee and how we operate. So you can reach out to me. You guys have my phone numbers. It's on the pages in your cafes, or you can send me an email at dpond@stonecreekcoffee.com. and I'll try and get to your question. Thanks. See ya.